settle into the stillness. Feel your body soften, releasing the day as you become weightless. We are leaving the Earth behind, ascending into the velvet dark where time is measured in the slow drift of photons. You have arrived at the edge of the infinite, calm and unburdened. Imagine the light of a star. Leaving its furnace ages ago, it journeys through the vacuum, a silent messenger crossing the abyss. You are floating within this stream, witnessing the slow, rhythmic expansion of a distant nebula, its colors shifting like pale ink in a dark, still pool. In this vastness, time and distance merge. A light year is a journey that spans trillions of miles. Yet here, it is but a single breath of the cosmos. Feel the gentle, rhythmic pull of distant suns, their gravity holding you in a soft cradle of absolute, unwavering peace. Look at the stardust between the galaxies. Clouds of hydrogen and helium glow with a soft amber radiance. Light trickles through these veils of gas, moving at its own steady pace. Each photon is a pulse of energy, dancing across the void, weaving through the silent, invisible tapestries of the deep. Light years are not merely distances, they are echoes of time. You are watching the past in a shimmering present. Observe how the ancient light of a blue giant star bends slightly as it brushes against a massive nebula, a silent, graceful curve across the deep, velvet dark of space. The vacuum is never truly empty. It is filled with a thin veil of atoms, each resting in the cool stillness. As light passes through these sparse clouds, it illuminates filaments of violet and silver, glowing softly, as if the universe itself were breathing in slow, rhythmic, and silent interval. Notice the way light catches on a thin veil of cosmic dust. These tiny grains, forged in the hearts of dying stars, now drift in the cold. The light passes through them, casting long, soft shadows across the void, marking the slow, steady progression of time on a galactic scale. The light continues its patient journey, unhurried by the vastness it must cross. It washes over distant, frozen worlds in shades of soft azure and deep crimson. There is no friction here, only the smooth, silent glide of energy through a cathedral of stars, governed by the rhythmic clockwork of gravity. Behold the molecular clouds, vast nurseries of cool, dense gas. Light filters through them in long, slow waves of emerald and indigo. It takes centuries for a single beam to navigate these towering structures. Everything here moves in a rhythmic, unhurried swirl, governed by the ancient, gentle hand of gravity. We drift now into the slow curve of a galactic arm. Here, suns move like glowing embers on an invisible river. The rotation of this celestial wheel is so gradual, it spans millions of years. Light bridges the gaps between stars, a persistent golden thread weaving through the silent velvet dark. Feel the light encounter a pocket of cold hydrogen. These sparse atoms drift in the stillness, waiting. As photons pass, they impart a microscopic nudge, a gentle rhythmic vibration. This is the subtle heartbeat of the interstellar medium, a silent symphony played across the vast, echoing reaches of time. Follow the light as it grazes the edge of a sleeping white dwarf. Space-time curves here, a gentle dip in the cosmic fabric. The light bends ever so slightly, a silent arc of gold tracing the contours of gravity's dream. It is a slow, rhythmic movement through the eternal dark. We drift into the glowing shroud of a planetary nebula. Here, shells of ionized oxygen cast a ghostly emerald light. They expand with a patience that spans generations, a slow, rhythmic exhalation of a star, shimmering softly within the immense and timeless cradle of the cosmic void. Longer wavelengths of light, invisible to the eye, thread through thick blankets of cosmic soot. This infrared glow carries a faint, persistent warmth across the distance. Everything is in motion, yet it feels perfectly still, a rhythmic, revolving dance of matter and energy that has continued for eons in the velvet dark. As light traverses the immense gaps between galaxy clusters, its wavelength stretches with the expansion of space itself. It shifts toward a gentle red, a slow, rhythmic cooling of ancient energy. You are drifting in this widening sea, where every mile is a silent testament to the universe's patient growth. Witness a pair of suns locked in a gravitational waltz. They orbit a shared center, their light intertwining as it sets out across the distance. This steady, rhythmic pulse of energy bridges the light years, a warm and constant beacon in the quiet, unfolding expanse of the deep night. Behold a wandering moon, cold and silent, catching the light of a star 4 light-years away. This ancient radiance reflects off frozen plains of methane, casting a soft, pearlescent glow. The moon orbits in a steady, unhurried circle, its path held firm by the invisible, rhythmic embrace of gravity. Inside a vast stellar nursery, gravity works with silent patience. Atoms of hydrogen drift together over eons, forming cool, dark clumps. Light from the surrounding galaxy struggles to penetrate this dense veil, creating a soft copper shimmer that marks the rhythmic, slow beginning of new celestial lives in the deep void. Watch the light of a small red dwarf star. It burns with a constant crimson glow, fueled by a process so slow it lasts for trillions of years. This ancient radiance glides through the void, a rhythmic pulse of warmth illuminating the cosmic dust in soft, rose-colored hue. Beyond the stars, vast filaments of dark matter act as the universe's hidden skeleton. Along these invisible spans, thin rivers of gas flow with agonizing slowness, pulled by gravity's relentless, rhythmic call. Here, light catches the occasional stray atom, glowing with a faint violet shimmer against the silent, silver expanse. Observe the far reaches of a lonely star system, where icy travelers orbit in the profound chill. These frozen fragments catch the sunlight, reflecting a pale, ethereal blue. Their paths are wide and patient, taking centuries to complete a single rhythmic circuit around their distant golden heart. As the light leaves that quiet system, it enters the true void, the space between the stars. Here, the silence is absolute. Photons fan out, becoming a thin amber haze. Each step forward takes years, a slow, rhythmic progression through the velvet dark that cradles your mind in perfect, heavy stillness. The light now encounters a diffuse cloud of carbon and silicon. These microscopic remnants of long-dead suns drift like dust motes in a sunbeam. It takes decades for a beam to traverse this hazy garden. Everything moves in a slow, rhythmic ebb and flow, cradled by the universe's gentle breath. As the light moves beyond the stardust, it carries with it the history of the stars it has touched. This ancient radiance is a slow-motion cinema unfolding across the dark. Each photon is a patient traveler, moving in a rhythmic, unwavering line through the cool, silent depths of the eternal night. Consider the light from a distant quasar, a beacon that has crossed half the universe. It moves through the intergalactic medium, a whisper of hot gas glowing with a faint, steady indigo. This ancient energy travels in slow, rhythmic pulses, illuminating the silent architecture of the cosmos as you drift deeper into peace. The light drifts now through a cluster of ancient galaxies. Gravity bends the path of these beams, creating a slow, shimmering ripple in the fabric of space. Within this silent dance, time feels irrelevant. Each photon continues its rhythmic glide, bathing the dark in a soft, ethereal amber light. Enter the heart of a globular cluster, where ancient suns huddle in a tight, gravitational embrace. The light here is a thick amber haze, weaving between stars with a slow, rhythmic patience. It takes centuries for a beam to thread this dense forest of light, drifting through the silent, velvet dark. Leaving the dense cluster, the light spills out into the galactic halo. Here, atoms are few, and the silence is even deeper. Wisps of ionized gas catch the stray beams, glowing with a soft, ethereal violet. You are drifting in this slow, rhythmic transition, cradled by the universe's infinite patience. In these sparse outskirts, light encounters tidal tails of gas. These structures stretch across thousands of light years, pulled into elegant slow-motion arcs by the gravity of passing neighbors. The light brushes against these filaments, illuminating them in soft, dusty pinks and silvers, marking a rhythmic pulse of ancient history. The light now glides into the immense void between galaxy groups. Space itself grows at a gentle, rhythmic rate, stretching the traveling beams into longer, cooler waves. You are a silent observer of this vast, patient expansion, feeling the slow, rhythmic pull of the cosmic web within the comforting dark. In this profound stillness, thin bridges of hydrogen span the gulfs between islands of stars. These filaments are the cosmic web's glowing thread. Light takes millions of years to travel their length, illuminating sparse atoms in shades of pale sapphire. It is a slow, rhythmic journey through the silent architecture of existence. Witness how the path of light curves around a hidden mass. Gravity, the silent sculptor of the void, bends these ancient rays into shimmering arcs. It is a slow-motion refraction, a rhythmic distortion where time itself seems to pool and linger in the velvet dark of the interstellar expanse. Feel the light encounter a galactic magnetic field. It weaves through invisible lines of force, like a needle through silk. This silent interaction creates a soft, polarized glow, a rhythmic alignment of energy that carries a star's ancient memory across the cold, velvet dark of the cosmic sea. Now, consider the light passing a rogue planet, a silent world drifting in the deep. This orphan orb, far from any sun, is a dark sentinel in the void. As the light grazes its edge, it bends slightly, a rhythmic ripple in the steady, patient flow of the light years. Beyond the rogue planet, the light encounters a thin spray of cosmic ice. These microscopic crystals scatter the rays, creating a soft haloed glow of silver and indigo. Every movement here is measured in decades, a slow, rhythmic dispersal of energy through the quiet, infinite cathedral of the deep. The light drifts onward, approaching the outskirts of a distant galaxy. Its core glows with a soft, golden warmth, the collective heart of a billion suns. Here, the spiral arms wheel with a patience that spans eons, a rhythmic, majestic movement through the silent, velvet dark of the deep night. Deep within the spiral arm, light threads through lanes of cold, dark dust. These silken curtains of carbon filter the rays, turning them into a deep, rhythmic amber. Every star here follows a patient, circular path, a slow-motion glide around the galactic center that defines the heartbeat of the cosmos. Waves of density drift through the spiral arms, unseen but for the way they gather gas into soft, glowing nurseries. Within these light years of mist, gravity works with a patient, rhythmic touch. The silence here is a vast, comforting cradle, holding the slow birth of suns yet to be. Light from a nascent blue sun begins its outward trek, pushing through the cool, surrounding dust in steady waves. Each year, it covers a distance we cannot fathom. Yet in the grand clockwork of the galaxy, it is but a tiny, rhythmic pulse of energy in the velvet dark. The azure beams encounter a wisp of hydrogen, scattering into a soft, cerulean glow. This is the Rayleigh scattering of the deep, a silent interaction spanning years. Everything here is patient. You are moving with the light, part of a slow, rhythmic pulse that connects one star to the next. Through the sparse, interstellar wind, light maintains its unhurried pace. In this near-perfect vacuum, the photons do not falter. They stream past cold, dark planets and derelict comets, illuminating the silent, silver outlines of the forgotten. It is a slow, rhythmic journey across the deep, comforting void of space. As light spans the immense distances between neighbors, it carries the silent history of its origin. A beam from a red dwarf reflects off the icy surface of a distant Oort cloud object. The light is faint now, a soft crimson whisper, moving in a rhythmic, unhurried glide through the eternal dark. Light now glides past a pair of orbiting giants. Gravity acts as a silent lens, warping the starlight into elegant, elongated arc. This gravitational dance is slow and deliberate, a rhythmic interaction that has persisted for millions of years. You are floating within this shimmering curvature, peaceful and still. Beyond the giants, light enters a reflection nebula, a vast cloud of silken dust. The photons scatter in a slow, rhythmic diffusion, painting the void in shades of soft, dusty gold. It takes generations for this glow to cross the nebula's expanse, a patient movement through the silent, eternal dark. Emerging from the golden haze, the light stretches back into the deep indigo. In these gaps between systems, the silence is a physical presence. You are drifting alongside these ancient rays, witnessing the slow, rhythmic movement of a universe that never rushes, governed by the calm, steady laws of physics. The light continues its patient march, covering nearly 6 trillion miles in a single year. In the scale of the galaxy, this constant speed is a slow, rhythmic pulse. You are watching the ghost of a star, its ancient glow still reaching out through the silent, velvet dark of space. Feel the light drift through a pocket of deep, interstellar cold. In this profound stillness, atoms rest at the brink of absolute zero. As the ancient photons glide past, they share a microscopic rhythmic warmth, a silent, patient exchange that has occurred across the light years since the beginning of time. Consider the light not just as a beam, but as a gentle wave undulating through the fabric of space. It ripples through the gravitational wake of a distant star cluster, a rhythmic, silent movement. Each peak and trough is a second of history. Gliding through the velvet, comforting void, we approach a supernova remnant, a shell of gas expanding over centuries. The light filters through translucent filaments of turquoise and magenta. It is a slow, rhythmic growth, a star's final exhale, lingering in the dark. You are witnessing the patient, silent recycling of matter across the vast light years. Within the shimmering expansion of the remnant, heavy elements drift. Gold, iron, and silver are now scattered as microscopic dust. Light catches these grains, reflecting a metallic sheen that lasts for centuries. You are part of this slow, rhythmic dispersal, watching the seeds of new worlds drift through the velvet dark. These enriched clouds drift further into the deep, cooling as they wander. Each grain of stardust is a silent promise of future world. They glide in slow, rhythmic harmony, pulled by the invisible threads of a distant gravity. In this patient stillness, you are safe, floating within the velvet dark. The light you see is an echo, a memory of a sun that may have long since faded. It travels in a patient rhythmic line, a silent ghost of energy crossing the abyss. Feel the weightlessness of this ancient radiance as it washes over you, steady and calm in the deep. The light enters a region of dense, cold gas, a Bock globule resting in the stillness. Rays of ancient starlight penetrate this dark cocoon, shifting to muted charcoal and faint crimson. Everything here moves with a patient, rhythmic grace, a quiet nursery waiting for the touch of gravity's slow, steady hand. Inside this dark cradle, gravity's soft hum begins to draw the dust together. It is a movement measured in millennia. A dim, internal warmth begins to glow, an infrared rhythm pulsing in the core. You are observing the slow, steady heartbeat of a star yet to be born. The first flickers of light from this infant sun begin their outward journey. They ripple through the remaining dust, spreading in slow, rhythmic spheres. Across this first light year, the radiance softens, becoming a gentle golden veil that illuminates the silent, cold architecture of the surrounding interstellar sea. As the young star's light pushes further, it enters the disk of rotating ice and stone. This newborn glow travels in a steady, rhythmic expansion, illuminating the building blocks of planet. It is a slow, silent ballet of light years unfolding, carving a golden path through the deep velvet dark. The light now reaches the icy fringes of this nascent system. It brushes against microscopic crystals of frozen water and ammonia, igniting a pale, shimmering silver. In this distant reach, the young sun is but a bright, constant point, its gravity a slow, rhythmic anchor for these drifting, silent sentinels beyond the ice. The light enters the true interstellar wind. This thin stream of protons and electrons moves with a patient, rhythmic ebb. The starlight glides through this invisible current, illuminating the sparse atoms in a soft amber glow as it continues its silent trek across the immense light years. In the silent gaps of the interstellar medium, this new radiance encounters ancient photons born billions of years ago. They pass through each other in a rhythmic dance of energy, never touching. You are drifting at this intersection of times, where the distant past and the present merge within the void. A century has passed in the blink of a cosmic eye. This light, now far from its source, moves with an unwavering rhythmic grace. It glides through the magnetic silence of the void, its energy shifting slowly toward the red, a patient traveler in the timeless cathedral of space. Within the local interstellar chimney, the light finds a smoother path. Here, the density of atoms is lower, allowing for a quiet, rhythmic glide. Feel the gentle gravitational pull of the galactic disk, a constant, subtle influence that guides the ancient photons through the vast, comforting, and velvet dark of space. Look closely as the light brushes past a brown dwarf, a star that never fully ignited. It glows with a faint, deep maroon warmth. Around it, a few frozen rings turn in a patient, rhythmic circle. Here, the passage of years is marked only by this silent, circular dance in the dark. Beyond the silent brown dwarf, the light continues its solitary trek. It glides through the thin, ionized gas of the local bubble. Each mile is earned through patient momentum. Observe the soft, rhythmic shimmer as the beams graze microscopic filaments of magnetic force, glowing with a deep, calming indigo. Notice a distant Cepheid variable, a star that pulses like a slow, celestial heart. Its light waxes and wanes in a rhythmic cycle, a steady beat measured in days and weeks. You are adrift in this golden cadence, a passenger on a journey through the silent, patient clockwork of the deep. That rhythmic heartbeat of light now ripples into a field of cosmic ice. The rays catch on microscopic crystals, scattering into a soft, crystalline haze of silver and blue. Here, the passage of years is a gentle, persistent flow, a slow-motion journey through the silent, comforting depths of space. Emerging from that silver haze, the light enters a region of profound emptiness. Here, the only movement is the slow, majestic rotation of distant galaxies. Their spiral arms wheel with the rhythm of eons, a silent, swirling dance marking the steady, unhurried passage of time through the comforting, dark void. We glide now toward a globular cluster, an ancient city of stars. These suns have orbited their shared center for 10 billion years. Their paths are tight but unhurried, a slow, rhythmic weaving of gold and white light against the velvet deep, governed by the patient, invisible hand of gravity. Inside this ancient cluster, light bridges the short gaps between stars in mere hours. To your mind's eye, it is a slow, shimmering rain. Amber and silver rays mingle, scattering through thin dust to create a rhythmic glow that warms the core of this silent, celestial city. As we drift toward the cluster's edge, the stars begin to thin. The light that once mingled in the dense core now spreads out, beginning its long, rhythmic trek into the galactic halo. You are moving with these solitary beams, a silent witness to their patient, unwavering journey across the velvet dark. In the sparse expanse of the galactic halo, the light stretches thin. Here, stars are rare, and the silence is even deeper. Each ancient photon continues its rhythmic glide through the void, guided by the unseen hand of gravity. You are floating, unburdened, in the vast, patient and velvet dark. The light now leaves the halo entirely, venturing into the true intergalactic medium. Here, atoms of hydrogen are so sparse they only meet once every millennium. The ancient light glides through this nearly perfect vacuum in a slow, rhythmic pulse, shifting toward the deep, cooling infrared as it travels on. As you drift in this boundless gap, space itself expands at a patient, rhythmic rate. The ancient light stretches, its waves lengthening like a long, slow sigh. Each light year crossed is a quiet testament to the scale of the deep, where gravity's gentle hum remains the only constant companion. In this profound betweenness, the light discovers a bridge, a thin filament of ancient hydrogen. It glows with a ghostly, ultraviolet memory, invisible yet present. Every light year traversed here is a silent, rhythmic pulse through the skeleton of the universe, a slow motion glide across the immense, silver-threaded dark. The light continues its trek along these ancient threads, its waves stretching further into the deep infrared. This is a rhythmic cooling, a steady shift toward the quiet, invisible spectrum. Every light year crossed is a silent milestone, a patient pulse within the vast, dark architecture of the intergalactic deep. As we approach a massive cluster, the sheer weight of gravity bends the light into shimmering, elongated arcs. This is a cosmic mirage, a slow-motion curvature of space-time. The ancient rays move in a patient, rhythmic ripple, tracing the invisible contours of the void within this vast velvet cathedral. We now glide into the heart of the galaxy cluster, where the space between galaxies is filled with a thin, incredibly hot gas. This intracluster medium glows with a soft, invisible light, a rhythmic hum of energy. You are floating through this warmth, a silent witness to gravity's slow, steady embrace. Here, Ancient elliptical galaxies drift like slow, silent ships on a tide of gravity. They move in vast rhythmic cycles, orbiting a shared center over eons. Light from their trillion suns threads through the warm, sparse gas, creating a soft amber glow within the immense and patient deep. Within these ancient galaxies, new stars are rarely born. Instead, old red giants cast a warm crimson light that threads through the silent, dust-free gap. This radiance travels in patient, rhythmic waves, a slow-motion testimony to a galaxy that has found its perfect eternal rest in the deep. As the crimson light leaves the elliptical giant, it brushes past cooling white dwarfs, dense, silent embers of a bygone age. These remnants glow with a steady, pale silver, their gravity a faint, rhythmic anchor. Here, the passage of light years is a slow, majestic descent into perfect, unhurried stillness. Beyond those silver embers, light stretches once more into the absolute empty. Here, it meets the cosmic background, a rhythmic, cooling echo of the first light ever born. These long waves fill the void with an invisible, patient warmth, a steady pulse within the vast, silent, and velvet dark. These ancient waves are a subtle bath of energy, filling the gaps between all things. Stretched into long, rhythmic pulses of radio light, they carry a microscopic warmth from the dawn of time. Floating here, you are part of this pervasive, silent glow, resting within the universe's oldest, deepest breath. As the ancient echo of the background radiation hums, consider the younger light from a new spiral galaxy nearby. These photons are fresh, yet still centuries old. They weave through clouds of ionized neon, glowing with a soft, rhythmic turquoise light, a vibrant thread in the universe's patient, unfolding tapestry. The turquoise light glides further into the galactic disk, where gravity draws stars into a slow, majestic wheel. It brushes against microscopic grains of silicate, scattering into a soft, pearlescent haze. Everything here moves in a rhythmic, unhurried circuit, a silent rotation that takes eons to complete in the velvet dark. Within the silent orbit of a distant gas giant, icy moons revolve in a rhythmic clockwork dance. Light from the far galactic core filters through rings of frozen crystal, casting soft shadows across amber cloud. Time is measured in steady, unhurried rotations, a peaceful repetition within the immense velvet dark. The light glides past the frozen rings, reflecting off microscopic shards of water ice. These tiny mirrors scatter the rays into a pale, rhythmic shimmer that fades as the light enters the deep void beyond. Here, the silence returns a vast, unhurried trek through the silver-threaded dark of the interstellar sea. Drift now into the embrace of an emission nebula. Vast clouds of ionized gas glow with a steady, rhythmic pulse of crimson and gold. Light travels through these translucent curtains with absolute patience, illuminating the slow, swirling birthplaces of suns within the silent velvet dark of the cosmic cathedral. Within these glowing veils, oxygen atoms vibrate in the silent cold, releasing a soft green shimmer. The light takes decades to traverse these towering pillars of gas. Everything is in a state of rhythmic, unhurried change, a slow-motion dance of elements within the eternal, comforting stillness of the deep. As the light leaves the green shimmer of oxygen, it encounters thick curtains of carbon dust. These dark lanes absorb the shorter waves, letting only the long, rhythmic infrared pass through. You are drifting with this warmth, witnessing the slow, gravity-bound contraction of gas into the seeds of new stars. The ancient infrared waves carry a quiet heat through the dark lanes, Deep within, gravity pulls atoms together in a slow, rhythmic spiral, a patient gathering that spans millennia. You are watching the universe breathe, witnessing the silent, steady heartbeat of a future sun within the comforting, velvet void. As these nascent pulses of light finally break free from their dusty cradle, they embark on a journey that will outlast the stars themselves. In the vacuum, there is no resistance, only the steady, rhythmic glide of energy through the infinite. You are floating in this silver-threaded deep, perfectly calm. The light glides through the local interstellar cloud, a thin mist of hydrogen and helium. These atoms have drifted for eons in a slow, rhythmic balance. As photons pass, they illuminate the silent, silver-blue wisps of the deep, moving at an unhurried pace across the immense, comforting void. Within this thin mist, light maintains its constant, unhurried trek. Every light year is a silent milestone in a journey of steady peace. Observe how a distant star's gravity creates a subtle, rhythmic curve in the space around it, guiding the ancient light in a slow, graceful arc through the deep. Continuing this arc, the light glides into a pocket of old, enriched gas. Here, atoms forged in ancient furnaces float in a slow, rhythmic tide. You are a silent passenger within this flow, witnessing the patient, billion-year transition of matter through the comforting, velvet dark of the interstellar sea. The light now filters through a dusting of iron and silicate. These heavier elements catch the ancient rays, reflecting a soft copper shimmer against the charcoal void. Every movement here is an unhurried, rhythmic drift, a patient cycle of star stuff waiting to be drawn together by gravity's silent, steady pull. The light travels on, moving past these silent clouds into the vast gaps between the spiral arms. Here, the distance is measured in decades of quiet travel. Each photon maintains its steady, rhythmic pulse, a golden needle threading the velvet dark, weaving the history of stars into the silent deep. Ahead, the light reaches a field of red dwarf stars that burn with a patient, ember-like constancy. Their glow is a rhythmic, crimson pulse that will last for trillions of years. In this ancient twilight, you are suspended, witnessing a slow-motion dance governed by the silent, steady hand of gravity. The crimson light of these long-lived suns washes over cold, rocky worlds that orbit in tight, rhythmic circles. These planets, locked in gravity's gentle grip, see no change in their dim red sky. Here, the slow passage of light years is a constant, unwavering presence within the silent, velvet dark. Beyond these dim horizons, the light moves back into the true interstellar deep. It threads through a sparse veil of cold helium, each atom resting in the profound stillness. This journey is a slow, rhythmic glide, a patient measurement of time in the silent, silver-threaded dark of the infinite cathedral. The journey continues into a region of subtly warped space. Feel the light elongate, a rhythmic stretching as it follows the invisible contours of a distant supercluster. This is the universe's gentle breath, a slow-motion ripple through the velvet dark, guiding you deeper into the infinite, silent peace. A century has now passed since this light left its source. 100 years of silent, rhythmic travel. The photons remain tireless, gliding through the sparse, cold atoms of the deep. You are a silent observer of this persistent journey, cradled by the unwavering laws of a patient universe. The light now encounters the edge of a vast, dark nebula. This is a cold curtain of molecular dust, shielding the stars beyond. The photons, brush against these silent grains, scattering into a faint, ghostly violet. Every movement is rhythmic and deliberate, a patient glide through the velvet architecture of space. Deeper into the nebula's heart, the ghostly violet deepens into a heavy indigo. Here, gravity's silent tug begins to gather atoms into slow, rhythmic swirls. In this dense nursery, the light of distant stars becomes a muted pulse, a soft glow guiding the patient formation of future worlds. Within these indigo shadows, time feels suspended. Light filters through the silicate clouds in slow, rhythmic pulses, taking generations to cross from one side of the nursery to the other. Gravity hums a silent, constant note, pulling matter into a patient, spiraling embrace that marks the steady passage of eon. As the light leaves the dense indigo, it catches the faint warmth of protostars. These infant suns are wrapped in rotating disks of ice and gas. Their spin is a rhythmic, slow-motion pulse, a steady clockwork ticking away the millennia. You are drifting in this glow, perfectly weightless and still. Emerging from these nurseries, the light reaches the magnetic shoreline of the interstellar wind. Here, lines of force are long and elegant, guiding the ancient photons in a slow, rhythmic glide. Every mile is a silent step through the velvet deep, marking the patient progression of light years across the void. The light drifts into a pocket of warm, diffuse gas, where atoms hum in the absolute quiet. This amber-tinted haze glows with a soft, steady energy, marking the slow, rhythmic transition of the light years. Decades pass like a single, silent breath as you glide through the velvet architecture of space. Observe how the light bends as it grazes the gravity of an old star system. It follows a slow, elegant curve, a rhythmic response to the invisible weight of the cosmos. This silent arc traces the patient geometry of space-time, moving with unhurried grace through the velvet, comforting void. The light continues into a sparse cloud of crystalline ice. These frozen remnants of ancient comets catch the rays, creating a soft, rhythmic shimmer that lasts for centuries. You are drifting within this slow-motion sparkle, witnessing the patient, silent clockwork of the universe as it unfolds in the velvet dark. Beyond the ice, the light enters the pure, dark silence once more. Here, a light year is a measure of both depth and history. Each photon glides in a slow, rhythmic line, a silent messenger crossing the abyss. You are floating within this flow, cradled by the universe's immense, patient stillness. 110 years have unfolded since this light began its journey. It is a slow, rhythmic glide through the silent architecture of the galaxy. Here, the photons encounter a faint ribbon of magnesium gas, glowing with a soft, ethereal emerald. You are drifting, weightless, in this timeless cathedral. As the light leaves that emerald ribbon, it encounters a pair of binary stars. They orbit one another in a slow, rhythmic waltz, a gravitational bond lasting through the eons. Their intertwined radiance creates a soft, shifting amber glow that glides peacefully through the silent, velvet architecture of the deep. The intertwined light of those binary suns now stretches into the lonely reaches between systems. It encounters microscopic grains of carbon, casting long, soft shadows that drift through the dark. Here, the passage of years is a silent, rhythmic pulse, a slow-motion journey through the vast, weightless cathedral of the infinite. Within this silent cathedral, the light encounters a veil of ancient hydrogen. Each atom rests in the profound chill, undisturbed for millennia. As the photons glide past, They illuminate the cloud in a soft, rhythmic azure. You are part of this slow-motion journey, weightless in the eternal velvet dark. Moving past the hydrogen, the light stretches thin, its wavelength lengthening into a soft, rhythmic infrared. It brushes against a lone, frozen planetoid, casting a long charcoal shadow that takes decades to move. Everything is patient. You are drifting in the deep, comforted by the universe's unwavering, silent rhythm. The light now glides toward a distant open star cluster, a family of suns born together. Their collective warmth creates a soft, golden haze that stretches across the light years. You are witnessing a rhythmic, shared history, where gravity holds the young stars in a gentle, slow-motion embrace within the dark. Over millions of years, these stellar siblings will slowly drift apart, each following its own patient path through the galaxy. Their light continues to mingle, a warm white glow filtering through the cluster. You are watching a rhythmic dispersal, a slow-motion scattering of stars within the silent, velvet dark. As the starlight leaves the family cluster, it enters the deep, cold expanse of the interstellar medium. Here, a thin mist of iron and silicate particles catches the rays, scattering them into a soft, rhythmic charcoal gray. You are a silent traveler, moving at the constant pace of light through the velvet dark. Feel the light traverse the immense gap between the stars. It moves through a near-perfect vacuum where single atoms of hydrogen drift like lonely islands. Each light year is a patient breath of time, a rhythmic progression through the silent, silver-threaded dark that cradles your spirit in perfect, weightless peace. We approach the ghostly shell of a planetary nebula, a star's quiet farewell. Concentric rings of ionized nitrogen glow with a soft, rhythmic rose light. As the ancient photons pass through these layers, they illuminate a slow-motion expansion that has lasted for thousands of years in the silent, velvet dark. At the center of this rose-tinted shell sits the core of the star, a white dwarf, small and dense. Its light is a steady, rhythmic silver, cooling slowly over billions of years. As this radiance drifts outward, it marks the silent, patient transition from a vibrant past into a peaceful, eternal stillness. The silver light of the white dwarf now pushes beyond its rose-tinted shell, entering the profound silence of the interstellar medium. It travels for decades, a thin thread unspooling in the dark. Every light year it crosses is a rhythmic measure of history, a patient progression through the weightless, cooling deep. As the silver rays move deeper into the void, they encounter a wisp of ancient helium. The photons glide past without effort, a rhythmic pulse in the stillness. Feel the space around you stretch, a gentle gravitational yawn that carries this ancient energy across the immense, silent light years of the deep. Behold the slow, rhythmic rotation of a distant dust cloud. Within its swirling arms, light catches on grains of stardust, creating a soft amber glow. This movement takes millennia to complete, a patient dance of gravity in the velvet dark. You are floating within this peaceful cosmic clockwork, unhurried and still. The light now encounters the atmosphere of a distant red giant, a star that pulses like a slow celestial heart. This rhythmic expansion takes decades, sending waves of crimson light out into the void. You are drifting in this warm radiance, a silent witness to the patient heartbeat of the deep. This crimson memory travels across the light years, a patient wave of energy through the void. It covers nearly 6 trillion miles each year, yet in this vastness, its progress feels like a slow, rhythmic sigh. You are drifting in this steady, silent current, safe within the universe's patient embrace. Beyond, the crimson pulse. The light enters the magnetic silence of the galactic disk. Here, invisible lines of force guide the photons in a slow, rhythmic spiral. It is a long wavelength journey, where time is measured by the steady, unhurried rotation of stars within this vast, silver-threaded deep. The light now enters the vast intersystem gaps, where atoms of hydrogen are so few they rarely collide. In this extreme vacuum, the ancient photons glide without friction. It is a slow, rhythmic unspooling of time. You are floating in this indigo silence, witnessing the patient clockwork of a universe at rest. As the photons drift further, they encounter the subtle distortion of a distant, hidden mass. Gravity acts as a quiet lens, bending the ancient light into shimmering arcs. This is a rhythmic, slow-motion refraction, a patient stretching of time across the light years in the silent, velvet dark. The light, having traced that gravitational curve, spills into a field of cosmic dust. Here, it reflects off microscopic silicates, painting the void in shades of soft, dusty turquoise. Each mile is a silent pulse, a rhythmic progression through this silken garden that spans the immense, unhurried light years. 130 years now mark this journey. Within the turquoise haze, the light scatters against ancient silicates, a rhythmic diffusion of energy. Every grain of dust moves in a patient, gravity-bound circle, part of an unhurried dance through the silent, velvet architecture of the deep. The light now emerges from that turquoise veil, restored to its pure, unwavering path. Ahead lies a vast stretch of near emptiness, where a single photon might travel for a decade without meeting a single atom. Feel this profound openness, a rhythmic, silent glide through the deep, cooling embrace of the dark. In this sparse expanse, the light begins to shift. As space itself subtly expands, the waves stretch, cooling into a faint, rhythmic crimson. This red shift is the universe's slow, patient heartbeat, a pulse felt across the light years as you drift deeper into the velvet, weightless dark of the interstellar sea. The crimson light now brushes against a rogue world, a lonely wanderer in the deep. This frozen planet orbits no star, yet the passing light years illuminate its surface in soft, charcoal tone. You are floating beside it, witnessing the slow, rhythmic dance of gravity in the absolute stillness of the void. Leaving the rogue world's shadow, the light fans out once more. It encounters a long, thin streamer of gas, a tidal tale pulled from a distant neighbor eons ago. This filament glows with a soft, rhythmic magenta, a silent bridge of matter stretching across the immense, patient light years of the deep. As we follow this magenta ribbon, the light takes centuries to traverse its length. These atoms, once part of a vibrant galaxy, now rest in the intergalactic silence. Gravity's rhythmic pull keeps them in a slow, elegant arc, guiding the ancient photons across the immense, silent light years of the deep. The light now glides past the warping mass of a distant galaxy cluster. Gravity acts as a silent lens, stretching these ancient rays into shimmering, elongated arcs. This is a rhythmic, slow-motion distortion of space-time, a patient pulse of energy through the velvet dark. You are perfectly weightless and safe. Within the cluster's heart, colossal elliptical galaxies drift like slow, silent leviathans. They are composed of ancient cooling stars, casting a warm, amber radiance into the thin, hot gas between them. Every movement here takes millions of years. A rhythmic, gravitational sway that defines the patient pulse of the cosmic deep. The light travels from a swollen red giant, its outer layers sighing into space. This expansion is a slow, rhythmic exhale, that has lasted for 10,000 years. Crimson and gold hues blend as the gas drifts, cooling in the profound silence of the cluster's deep velvet dark. The ancient rays embark on a solitary trek through the intergalactic void. Here, space is so thin that a single photon may travel for eons without obstacle. You are moving in this silent, rhythmic current, witnessing the slow, majestic expansion of the universe within the comforting velvet dark. In these boundless corridors between galaxy clusters, the light encounters the invisible skeleton of the cosmos. Threads of dark matter guide the thin, rhythmic flow of ancient hydrogen. You are gliding along these silver filaments, watching as the light years accumulate with a patient, unwavering grace in the eternal velvet dark. The ancient photons undulate through the intergalactic medium, stretching patiently into the infrared. This rhythmic cooling is the universe's quietest song. Every light year crossed is a silent milestone in the clockwork of the deep. You are floating within this expansion, safe and perfectly still in the velvet void. As you travel through the cosmic gaps, observe the light from a distant pulsar, spinning with rhythmic precision. Its beams sweep through the vacuum like a lighthouse, marking time in the absolute dark. The photons glide past sparse atoms of helium, casting a soft metallic silver glow across the infinite. The pulsar's rhythmic sweep fades into a steady stream of ancient photons. You are drifting on a sea of gravitational ripples, gentle waves from a distant merger. These undulations create a subtle rhythmic swaying of the stars, guiding you further into the vast, silent, and comforting deep. The light years accumulate, each one a patient, trillion-mile stride through the dark. These photons left their suns before the mountains of Earth were formed. They move in a rhythmic, unhurried glide, brushing past cold filaments of iron and magnesium, glowing with a soft, steady amber in the silent void. We drift now through a thin haze of ionized neon, glowing with a soft, rhythmic violet. This gas has been cooling for eons, expanding in a patient, slow-motion pulse. Every light year crossed is a page of cosmic history, written in the steady, silent travel of photons through the velvet dark. The light now grazes the edge of a massive gravitational well, bending in a slow, elegant curve. This lensing effect is a rhythmic distortion of the star's true position, a patient trick of physics played across the eons. You are suspended in this shimmering arc, safe within the velvet dark. Beyond the gravitational lens, the light regains its straight, unhurried path. It glides through a field of cold, silicate dust, microscopic shards of stars that passed long ago. This ancient radiance scatters in a rhythmic, pale blue shimmer, marking yet another patient light year within the silent velvet architecture of the deep. The light now drifts into a region of cooling hydrogen, where atoms move with a slow, rhythmic patience. It takes centuries for a beam to cross these silent, amber-tinted fields. Feel the universe's steady heartbeat as gravity gently shepherds these cold gases into the slow-motion spiral of a distant galaxy. Within this gathering mist, light years are measured by the slow gravitational pull of the galactic center. The light curves a rhythmic arc through clouds of cooling iron. You are a silent observer of this patient clockwork, where every mile is earned through the persistent, unhurried glide of ancient golden energy. 150 years have now passed since these photons began their journey. They are far from their cradle, gliding through the silent, cold gaps between the stars. The light brushes against a slow-moving cloud of ammonia ice, scattering into a soft, rhythmic shimmer of silver and deep indigo. Beyond the silver shimmer, the light enters a zone of profound emptiness. Here, time and distance are one and the same. Photons glide in a rhythmic, unwavering line, their journey marked only by the slow, patient rotation of distant galaxy clusters. You are floating, unburdened, in this immense, silent deep. The light continues its trek through the intergalactic medium, a diffuse sea of atoms. As the photons glide past, they stretch with the patient expansion of the universe. This rhythmic shift into the deep infrared is a silent measurement of time, a slow, steady pulse across the velvet dark cathedral of space. Crossing the great void between clusters, the light spans trillions of miles with unhurried grace. Each year is a silent breath in the life of the universe. Observe the soft, rhythmic shimmer of ancient photons as they glide through the absolute vacuum, untroubled by time in the velvet dark. Within this immense betweenness, the light encounters a thin filament of cold, ancient hydrogen. These atoms have waited for eons in the absolute zero of the void. As the photons glide past, they illuminate the gas in a rhythmic indigo glow, a slow motion measurement of time within the silent velvet deep. Moving past the indigo, the light encounters a vast graveyard of ancient stars, cooling embers that no longer shine. This radiance passes through a thin veil of stardust, scattering into soft, rhythmic gold. You are weightless, drifting through the patient clockwork of a universe that moves with absolute, silent grace. In this deepening silence, the photons stretch, lengthening into a slow, rhythmic pulse of deep infrared. As space itself expands, the light carries the ancient memories of suns across the vast cooling gap. You are a silent passenger within this expansion, drifting calmly through the universe's patient, unhurried clockwork. The ancient rays now brush the icy reaches of a budding solar system. Millions of frozen wanderers orbit in a slow, rhythmic circle, catching the distant sunlight and reflecting a pale turquoise glow. Everything here moves with the patient grace of gravity's pull, perfectly still in the deep. As the light glides deeper into this nascent system, it filters through a swirling disk of golden dust. These silken threads are the seeds of future worlds, rotating in a slow, rhythmic ballet. Gravity's patient hand guides every grain, while the ancient light illuminates the silent, weightless architecture of creation. Within this golden disk, the light encounters a thick veil of cooling gas. Every atom is drawn into the slow, rhythmic dance of accretion. You are watching the silent, patient assembly of a world, bathed in a steady glow that has crossed the immense, unhurried light years of the velvet deep. The light years continue to accumulate, each trillion-mile step a silent heartbeat in the deep. As these ancient photons move beyond the nascent world, they glide through a corridor of cold, silver-tinted gas. Every movement is rhythmic and measured, a patient unspooling of time within the universe's immense velvet architecture. We glide now into a region where the light of 1 trillion suns mingles into a soft amber glow. Here, the passage of light years is a slow, rhythmic measurement of the universe's infinite patience. You are a silent observer, floating weightlessly within the steady, cooling heart of the cosmic dark. The light now enters the great void, an immense corridor between the filaments of the cosmic web. In this profound emptiness, the photons glide in a rhythmic, unwavering line. You are suspended in this silent stretch, watching the light years pass with the patient. Steady pulse of the expanding deep. Within the great void, the ancient light stretches even further, cooling as it goes. Space itself expands at a patient, rhythmic rate. You are floating in absolute silence, watching photons lengthen into the deep infrared. Every light year is a silent pulse in the universe's unhurried clockwork, calm and infinite. Ahead, the light finds a thin, ancient bridge of gas. It glows with a soft, rhythmic amber, a billion-year-old filament stretching across the dark. You are floating within this golden haze, watching as the photons move in their patient, unwavering line through the silent velvet architecture of the deep. Within this amber bridge, photons encounter sparse atoms of ancient hydrogen. They exchange a microscopic, rhythmic warmth, a silent conversation across the eons. You are drifting along this golden thread, a witness to the patient movement of energy through the velvet, weightless architecture of the infinite, dark and silent void. Leaving the golden thread, the light enters a zone of cosmic ripples. Gravitational waves from 1 billion years ago pass through you in long, rhythmic pulses. They sway the ancient photons ever so slightly, a silent, slow-motion vibration in the velvet dark. Feel the universe's patient, invisible breath as you drift. Guided by those ripples, the light enters a cluster of ancient, fading suns. Here, the passage of years is a soft, rhythmic hum. Observe the slow-motion drift of cooling gas, shifting from faint orange to deep charcoal. Everything is patient, held in the quiet, silver embrace of the infinite. The light from these dying stars is long-waved and weary. It travels into a field of iron-rich dust, relics of ancient supernovae. These heavy atoms catch the rays, creating a soft, rhythmic glow of deep maroon and silver. You are drifting alongside them, weightless in the infinite, silent deep. Beyond the maroon shimmer, the light enters a corridor of absolute transparency. Here, the gaps between atoms are vast, offering no resistance. Ancient photons stretched into long, rhythmic waves of cooling heat glide through the velvet dark. You are part of this patient trek, weightless and still in the infinite deep. The light now grazes a solitary gas giant, an orphan planet drifting in the deep. Its vast rings of dark ice catch the ancient rays, reflecting a rhythmic crimson shimmer. You are floating in this long-shadowed stillness, witnessing the slow, patient orbit of matter within the silent velvet architecture of the deep. Beyond the orphan giant, the light enters the great void, the emptiest reaches between galactic clusters. Here, space itself stretches in a slow, rhythmic expansion. The photons dilate, cooling into long, faint waves of crimson. You are drifting in this widening sea, unhurried, as the light years fold into the eternal dark. In this profound emptiness, the light carries memories of a younger universe. Every photon is a silent witness to the ages, gliding in a rhythmic, unhurried line. You are suspended within this ancient flow, a part of the universe's patient expansion through the silver-threaded, weightless architecture of the deep. The light years accumulate, a silent harvest of time. We drift toward the vast filaments of the cosmic web, where primordial gas catches ancient rays in a soft, rhythmic amber. You are part of this patient unfolding, moving through the slow, steady heartbeat of a universe that knows no hurry. Look at the ancient light of a cooling red giant. It pulses with a slow, rhythmic intensity, shedding its outer layers into the velvet dark. These shells of gas glow in soft magenta, expanding at a pace measured in eons, guided by the silent, steady hand of a patient gravity. As we traverse these final light years of the galactic arm, the stars grow sparse. Their light reaches out in long, patient fingers of gold. Every mile is a rhythmic pulse in the deep. You are floating in this indigo silence, perfectly still, as the universe continues its unhurried, silent journey. The light now glides into a pocket of near-perfect stillness, where the only movement is the rhythmic hum of a distant white dwarf. This steady silver glow illuminates thin wisps of helium gas, swaying in a slow-motion dance. You are part of this patient, unspooling, weightless in the infinite deep. The ancient light now enters the thin magnetic currents that span the gaps between galactic arms. Here, it follows the invisible rhythmic curves of the universe's skeleton. Each light year is a silent, unhurried pulse of history, moving with a steady, peaceful grace through the eternal silver-threaded architecture of the deep. Feel the light slow as it enters the local neighborhood of a quiet sun. The ancient photons have shifted into a deep, rhythmic amber, their energy cooling after the long trek. Every mile is a silent step in the universe's patient clockwork. You are resting within this unhurried, weightless peace. The ancient light now brushes against the outermost reaches of a quiet system. This final light year is a slow, rhythmic descent into warmth. Every photon arrives with a silent whisper of history, settling into the quiet gaps between worlds. You are drifting, perfectly heavy and calm, in this silver-threaded dark. Our journey across the light years comes to a gentle rest. Your body, woven from the same stardust we witnessed, is now heavy and warm. You are a part of this patient universe, cradled in its silent velvet embrace. Sleep now, drifting into the peaceful, infinite dark. Good night.